Hello guys, just give me a minute. Let me just give it a minute to get some few peoples on. It's just going to be a brief discussion. Just a brief discussion on something that I can just clear off my mind. Okay, let's start this conversation. And conversation B, it's about the classroom in Kaur. I don't know which school in Kaur, but we all seen the viral pictures about the school in Kaur. And the school was, the picture has bamboo, benches without tables, very low benches without table, apparently donated or sponsored by the CEO of the area council, And the picture have gone viral, and the reason it went viral is because the sad state of affairs. And we have seen children sitting on the floor. We have seen children being taught under the tree. We have seen children being taught in conditions that are completely not acceptable. And what made this one worse is because of the CEO. The CEO, I don't know who he is or who led the council, in fact, decided to post this and to be proud of providing those, how to call them, bamboo, is it bamboo, tara, bamboo, I call it bench. Proud enough, a CEO, proud enough to post that and be posting that to say that that's what the council, how much does the council raise in tax for the school? And why is it that bad? How much does it cost to furnish the school? Local carpenters, local welders could have furnished that classroom and would not have cost the council that much. But again, I don't want it to be about Kaur Primary School alone. That school in Kaur. I want it to be about everything in that country that the people should have, especially the basic needs. It's about the school, it's about the hospitals, and it's everything about the country. But I am going to give an example. Why I make this video, I'm doing it on my phone. I did not plan to come on live today, but since last night, I am kind of handicapped because I cannot take that picture off my head. I've been thinking about it. I went to bed, thought about it. I woke up and did not feel right. I went out for a walk, came back, and still I cannot shake this thing off my head. And I'm sitting here, I meant to do something, I have things to do, but I can't even do them. But I decided to come and share it. And probably that will help me clear it for now and to concentrate to do other things. Why is this important? First, we have a mandate. We give a mandate. As citizens, we vote for a government. We vote for a government through a political process, be it a political party or coalition of political party or an independent candidate to govern the country. And once we voted them in, we give them all the resources. We give them a mandate, give them the power to use all the resources, to legislate for taxes, collect taxes for the mineral resources in the country, be it forest and everything, how to be used, everything else. We give them the mandate to appoint the right people, and to govern right, to create an environment. Not only that, but create an environment where people will come together, a very cohesive environment. People come together, work together. People will live in harmony that ensures peace and stability in order to make things possible. We are not saying that we will have everything that we want. We are not talking about skyscrapers or anything, but the basic necessities of life that should be guaranteed. And the reason is because we have it and we can. If the monies are spent right, priorities are given, spent right, then we will not have a problem. And for people that turn around and always say that, but at least in the country, human rights is not being abused. I am telling you, abuse of human rights is not only to arrest people, to take them to the police, arrest people to disappear and other things. By not providing the basic necessities for the people is an abuse of human rights. What we are doing to those students, going to those classrooms, not creating the conducive environment for them is an abuse of human rights. They have a right to education. As they have a right to life, they have a right for education. Without education, those people would not have a brighter future. And most students or youths today are victims because of they've been failed to the education system. And we can go on other rights that people are entitled to. People have right to life. That's why we expect our women to go to hospital and deliver safely and come back. The infant mortality rate is because of lack of investment and lack of management. We cannot blame that to God. These are things, rights we talk about. Let's come back to schools. Why did I bring this up? Let's look at that classroom. And when you look at the classroom, it's not about that classroom alone. This is happening throughout the country. And this is after how many years of independence? Again, for people that take the development, say that, or the dictator had developed schools or whatever, we are still living in this era. I'll come to that. We should not have schools that are not equipped right now. Just imagine the level of equipment we should even be looking up there. We should aim to have that level of achievement. We should, yes, Gambia should have that. We are not poor. We have the resources. If the president can take millions and millions to buy vehicles, to give out millions to people, those millions should have gone to schools, because he has no right to have a political party. No right, I said. Because he was elected as a transitional president and to serve one term. We can debate the term, but to serve one term. Now, the millions been given to people to cross-carpet or to join the party or whatever to get this. All those millions should have gone to schools and hospitals and other things. The millions and millions of money been stolen and build properties and to put, send their kids in foreign countries to buy properties everywhere else. That money could have gone to schools and hospitals. If all this corruption was, arrested and taken care of, the millions and billions taken from Yaya Jammeh should have been invested in schools and hospitals. Gambia would not have this problem. But I just want to put it out there, it's not lack of resources. And I'll come to the point of the people doing things for themselves. Yes, when we elect a government and give them all the mandate, the constitution, the mandate, the parliament to go through parliament to raise taxes, to do a budget estimate, to support the budget estimate, for them to do things. Where they have shortcomings, the people will complement them. Community will complement them in that. But people cannot take over government projects. People can complement government projects. Private citizens can take it from their goodwill to have social responsibilities, be that they have a business, be that they are well paid, be that they have a little, they come together, organize, bring those little together and do things. That's a responsibility for private citizens to do. The responsibility to build schools and these things, that's the responsibility for government and private sector if the private sector want to invest there. What we can do is to complement government efforts. It's not a mandate to us. That's our responsibility as citizens. We choose to, and we do that. But government is a mandate. They are elected to do this thing. They are given resources to do these things. Just imagine those students. How can they learn? Are they better off sitting there? No, they should not even, we should not even think of better off with this or not. Imagine your children, my children, and most of you watching me out in the diaspora. Just imagine what they have, our children have. Imagine the future that our children, the aspirations they have now. They aspire to be something. My child, your child, in the diaspora here, can sit in a school, in a class, and visualize and aspire to be something, and it will be realistic. They want to be an astronaut, it would be realistic. They want to be something that will be realistic, because they have the facilities to do that. Even the reason why they have those aspirations is because of the environment that is created for them. The environment created is real, that they can aspire to be this thing. You think a Gambian child can realistically aspire to be these things? If they even aspire that, it's not realistic. Probably few can. Only few can. But realistically, it's not something. And that's not fair. That's not fair. We should create the same conducive environment we can. It's not that we don't have the money. We have the money. It's our priorities that's not right. We are not electing the right people. That's why we should elect the right people. It's the final solution. Those students don't even, they sit on a bench, they cannot even rest their back. You think how they're going to learn this sitting on a bench? They cannot even have a rest their back. They don't have a desk. How can they write? Are they going to put the books on their lap to write? You think that's conducive, that's right? If that is lacking, if basic furniture is lacking, what else is lacking in the school? You think they have the right teachers? If you can invest in furniture, you think you invest in the teachers? If you can invest in furniture, you think you invest in learning material? This is the poor quality of education our children are going through in the Gambia. And the end product, we see it. They don't have any prospects of developing themselves, to acquire skills. They grow up, they go through the process of growing up without having an environment anything, skills to meet their potentials. And most of them would end up committing crimes. And we blame them for those committing those crimes. We don't blame the governments, not only this, before, that created the environment, that failed the people. But what I want this discussion today to be, not only to take it out of my system, but I want it to be productive. I have wrote a post on my timeline, or other people can go and Google the Bakau School project. I want to give an example of the Bakau School project. It is something communities will do, but this is an interim. This is a measure we should do. We cannot let the people down. We cannot ignore the problem. Yes, government should take over responsibility, but we have a responsibility to do. Let's try and complement that in the absence of government. But I am appealing to people to make sure they go out and register those people who can register now, and ensure they vote for the people they believe that can transform their lives. They will govern right. This is the opportunity we have for December. Register and vote December. Vote for the right party. Vote for the right person that you believe can transform that country or can lead that country better. Example of the Bakau School project. How did it came about? The Bakau School project is the school in Bakau, and it's in the Bakau Sanchaba on the main road, Share Job Avenue, main road, not far from the PWD, not far from the Bakau police station, that Bakau school we're talking about. That school has been there for a long time. Probably it's one of the oldest schools in the Gambia. We have former vice presidents. We have, different. I think Bibi Dabo attended primary school in Bakau. Part of his primary school. We have businessmen and others, and we have people in the international community. We have, produced a lot of, good citizens. It's one of these earliest schools, and in 2015, because the school used to have a fence, an iron link fence that you can see through the school when you drive past. But after they built a wall, you cannot see the school from the outside unless you walk into the school. And what happened is, once you build that wall, unless you have a need in the school, you don't know the conditions of the school. Either you have someone going to the school, or your children going to the school, you have a need in the school, or your teacher in the school, you don't know what goes in the school. On behold, we don't know. People from Bakau, people that attended Bakau school, a lot of people attended Bakau school, they don't live in Bakau. We don't know. The ex-people of Bakau school, they don't know what was happening in Bakau. Most of them don't know. But apparently the school have been deteriorating. Most of the classrooms have been abandoned. The school have, half of the people of the school have left the school, attending other schools in far areas, because there's no capacity for people to come into the school, because most of the school roof are coming off, the rain comes down to it, the elements come in, and everything else. Classrooms and classrooms and classrooms. Half of the school was abandoned. That's how bad it was. Can you imagine? In a community, that's a failure of our community back out then, that we have a school that we all went through, it was decayed, destroyed and everything, and this was 2015. People that turned around to say, but the dictators built schools, and yeah, the dictator was doing something. He was socially re-engineering Gambia. Anything he inherit, he made sure it goes out, so that things he built would be only things left. Then everything would be about him. Bakau school was not maintained. How did we know about this? One of our sisters became a teacher in the school. Happened to be a teacher in the school from Bakau, and looked at because most of the teachers are not even from Bakau. Even most of the teachers don't want to be transferred to Bakau school. That's how bad it was, because there's no facilities in the school. Then one of these teachers, Mama Sane, sister to a brother called Alaji, decided to take it onto herself to try and get something done with the school. Hence, government would not do anything. Now, she wants to bring the community on. Alaji lives in the United Kingdom. Alaji went for holidays in the Gambia. And Mama invited Alaji to the school and said, come and look at the school. And Alaji went and saw the school. Alaji was shocked. What Alaji did was took pictures of the school. And if you go to the Bakau School Project Facebook page, you will see what I'm talking about. Took the pictures of these classrooms. You can see the roof is off, the rain comes in, the walls are down, even some of the things been stolen. There's nothing in the school. It's just completely abandoned. He took pictures, and what Alaji did was, Alaji came on social media, Facebook, and just posted the pictures and said Bakau School, and left it like that, no commenting. And what happened is, and that's I always emphasize, Gambians are good people. Gambians love their country. Because I have seen a test of that many times. When Alaji posted that picture without comments, and just people from Bakau school and people that empathize with, but just, and Gambians for that matter, I cannot even say people from Bakau school, but mainly from Bakau school just went wild. What is this outrage? Just as we see the outrage, or even worse, of this outrage we saw in Kuntawa. People were concerned. People were embarrassed. I was embarrassed. That's my community. I failed my community. We failed our community. We were embarrassed. That's our school. That's the school that formed us. This is the school that produced vice presidents. This is the school that produced ministers. The school that produced businessmen. School that produced technocrats, international civil servants, United Nations, and everything we have it from that school, Bakau school. But now this is the condition of the school. The government has failed. Community has failed. But because of that, and people started to voice out, let's do something. And people started to pledge, I will give something, I'll give this. We decided, around that conversation, we decided to say, okay, let's organize ourselves to do something about this. And we took it onto ourselves and continue the brainstorming, continue the outrage. People point out, and this was during the dictatorship, this is 2015. And obviously, many people were even afraid to put their names or out there, not to be seen as criticizing or voicing out outrage about the school, to be seen as outrage about, against the government. Everything, it was that difficult. But one thing came out of it. In fact, it unified us. It unified generations. We took it onto ourselves. We took the leadership from Bakau school. But the building and the work was not done by people from Bakau alone. It was done by Gambians and friends of Gambia. We decided to say that we have to organize ourselves. We started to have these meetings, Zoom meeting, not Zoom in those days, WhatsApp, Viber, and all those kind of things. It wasn't enough. I decided to host a face-to-face for United Kingdom. I said, let's have a face-to-face. I invited people to come to my house to sit down and have a face-to-face, people that can. And it was convenient I live in the Midlands, in the middle of United Kingdom Midlands, and most people, it would be central to people to travel to. And quite a number of people came. And interesting enough, you see, a community project. When we all met, some of us have not seen each other for a while. But some of us have not even met before. And we all attended the same school, because some of them were very young. And we started to talk about, okay, how are we going to do this? People were eager. People wanted to give money. People want to rush. But we said, look, we have to build structures. We have to organize. If not, this project would not be delivered. It's not only to throw money at it. We have to make sure it's sustainable. And again, at another learning moment, we sat and started to strategize how we're going to do this. Within, in a room, probably less than 20 people, men and women. When we raised to say that we need a website, among the 20, there's one person, or more than one, or one of them sacrificed to build a website for free. Website for free. I said, I'll build a website, I've done it before. When we talked about a constitution, someone said, I have a legal background and I've done it before. I'll draw the constitution. Someone, the legal frameworks and everything will be done, so that we can register as a charity and everything else. United Kingdom and Gambia. Someone said website. When we started to, this thing, the other guy is an accountant, or we do this, okay, that person will be auditor. That's how we started to think about these things, to start to bring the UK. What we had then, we only had about 2 sisters at that. And we realized, no, we have to create diversity. We haven't got enough sisters attending here. Let's try and source out our sisters in the United Kingdom and get them in. Give them ownership. I was proud, because diversity. Another thing, we were strategizing on how we're going to unveil this project. And we said, we are not only going to take ownership, we are going to give ownership to people on the ground. Because if we take ownership as a diaspora, it will not work. Let's try and help the people on the ground to organize. We did that. Generations came together. Some of them, some people in the community in Bakau were about 70 years old, accomplished Gambians, 70 years old to different levels. We organized the committee in Bakau, in the Gambia, to take ownership of this project. Another thing we said, the project, how this project going to be this thing, all contracts will be given to companies, people, residents around within the community. We have to give them to them first based on their competence. But we have to prioritize to give it to the community. And we expect them to do the job, and we expect them to give back as well. Let them give ownership. We thought about that. Then how are we going to spread this message? We thought about this message. Okay, we're going to. Someone said, Friday would be good day so that the imams will say it in all the mosque, because you know how many mosques we have in Bakau now. We used to have one. God knows now. We have almost everywhere. We have a mosque. We say every mosque we're going to announce it. The people attending the meeting at my house, none of us were Christians. And so, one or two people signed up and said, if we have to go to the mosque, we have to go to the church. We have to make sure the church too would announce it. That was, inspiring again. Young people. I was the oldest and far older than some of them. That's how young they were. But they thought about inclusivity. They said, if we go to the mosque, we have to go to the church. Most of us are men here, we have to get our women to give ownership. This is how it went on. The expertise, every trade you think of, there was someone available. And when we contacted the people on the ground, the same, we replicated the same thing. We have people who are managing directors, people in different levels decided to join the project, to give their expertise in management. People who are lecturers give their expertise to how to run the school. The school, this is how we started to build. Money was not even given yet. This is just to build the structures. That was the most daunting task to do. When we took up responsibilities on where we want to be, how we want to be, how we want it to be. Then we decided, okay, the UK chapter have organized themselves. We have to contact the people in the group, because we already started to identify each other on social media, because people responding. According to people, how they responded, we contacted them. That's how the US chapter came about. We had a US chapter, then we have a Scandinavian chapter. We have a Scandinavian chapter, we have the UK chapter, and we have the US chapter. We have 3 chapters. And in all these chapters, it was diverse. Women and men from different backgrounds. What bound us together was the community to rebuild the school. And we had a strategy. What we're going to do, we have to raise the funds, and we have to unveil these projects in phases, phase 1 to 5. Right now, I think we are at phase 5. 2015 we started. We have to do this, and we have to prioritize, and move on. And when the project started, then we did fundraising. We did all sorts of fundraising. Not only people, giving out money, donating money, but we organized. We used to organize every year. Obviously, COVID, we did different kind of, fundraising. We have musicians coming. We did dance. Charity. We did different things. And we appealed to Gambians. And again, when we were doing that, it was centered at Bakau School. Bakau School took the people, ex-people of Bakau School took the lead. But what amazed us, people from different parts of the country, our friends and family from different parts, because that's how it works. They did not see it as a Bakau School project. They see it as a Gambian project. They saw it as a Gambian project. And we started this thing. We went on to say these are things we're going to do. We're going to have a library. We're going to rebuild the teachers, headmaster's office. Even the headmaster's office was leaking. We have to rebuild the headmaster's office and do it properly. We have to build the recreation center, teachers recreation component. These are some of these things we introduced or reintroduced. Some of them are gone. A garden, school garden was gone. During our time, we had school gardening. But at this time, the country, things were so disorganized, they don't even have a school garden anymore. The land is there, the space is there, but no school garden. We said that we're going to recreate a school gardening program. And we achieved that. We are going to have a library. During my time, we don't have a library. We're going to have a library. We're going to build a library, and we're going to furnish that library. We're going to put computers in that library. We're going to put books in that library. We did that. But another thing happened is, we thought about this. This was a primary school. And we started to reclaim the old buildings and refurbish them and get people in. We realized that there are communities, there are people in our community that have access to early learning, to go to nursery, because they cannot afford nursery fees. We converted 2 classrooms into a nursery. 2 classrooms were converted to a nursery within the primary school. And we organized to have the school, nursery run within the primary school, and that the school take the intake now from the nursery. Most of the school intake come through that nursery. Now, children from very disadvantaged background that their parents cannot afford to send them to early learning now have access to early learning, and now they can be given the opportunity to be on the same par with their friends who are from better financial backgrounds. This was the kind of initiative we came up with as a community, not the ministry. The community started to push this. Yes, we work with the ministry. You cannot take a school without the ministry. We cannot. Even it's our community school. We have to work with the ministry. We did that. What I'm trying to say is, it was during a dictatorship, 2015. And the dictator used to, I think he held 2 meetings in the same school. He have seen it. He knew it was happening. And the dictator even gave money to the students and said that money to be spent to party, not to finishing. And we all know, if the money was not spent for a school party, then problem would be, the headmaster would have a problem. If go to the Bakau School project Facebook and look at the office we created for the headmaster, it looks like an executive office. Yes, our teachers should have a conducive environment again to lead our schools. Look like an executive office. We gave him everything to feel comfortable to lead that school. Go and look at the classes. We did not rehabilitate the classes as they should be. We improved on them. We raised the ceilings. We put a better ceilings. So that we open it up to have better lighting. We consider all that. We did not maintain the small blackboard. We had to wall-to-wall blackboards. So that, we changed the chairs and tables to put proper chairs and tables comfortable for the students. We make sure the floors are tiled. We make sure the corridors are done properly. Another thing we introduce in the school, you know, when people go out for lunch, to eat their lunch, we build pavements. We build, not pavement, what do you call it? It's like a platform. We build platform and tile the platform very neat. Now the students would sit on the platforms and eat their food and conduct themselves, right? They will not have to sit under the tree. They don't have to sit on the sand. No, on the ground. No, they have to sit on the platform and in a very organized way and enjoy their food. All these things have been created with the community, support from the diaspora, and Gambians at large, not only Bakau. What Bakau School did was to take leadership. The moral of the story, as I said, why did I come out today, is to get this out of my head because it was really troubling for me. I cannot just take this picture of Kuntawuru off. I am appealing for people from Kuntawuru to take it onto themselves, to learn from similar projects. It's not only Bakau School that done this. I'm talking about Bakau School because that's much I know about Bakau School. But I know of other projects going around, doing the same thing. I am appealing for people in Kuntawuru. You have to take the leadership. You have to own up the project and give the ownership again. Invite other people to take ownership of the project. This is one thing we learn from it. You have to organize yourself. And once you take the leadership, and it might just take one person. In our case, it was a sister that was teaching at the school. Mama's Sane took it onto herself to reach out to his brother, Alaji Sane. Alaji decided to take the leadership and share it on social media. And Bakau people from Bakau schools took ownership and gave ownership to the entire nation, and Gambians and friends of Gambia. None. We have a lot of charity. We have a lot of charity from different organizations, and people in the diaspora here who are non-Gambians, but who have seen this, and they visited the projects. They went out there. We are not asking for charity, but we are doing it for ourselves. And if people come and compliment it, we do it. And that's why I want people from Kuntawuru. I don't know where in Kuntawuru the school is, or around the Kuntawuru area council, where the school is. I want the community to take ownership. Especially people in the diaspora, you have the opportunity here to contact on the ground and start to organize, just as we organize ourselves. Organize, and once you organize, I'll tell you, people will come and compliment you. And then we can build up your projects, strategize on how to do these projects, and I'll tell you, people will come in, the resources will come in, and the schools will be rebuilt. Why is this important? The children have to be served. It's not fair unto those children. But let me emphasize again, we can only complement government. We cannot take over the responsibility of government. The only way we can make sure we take over that responsibility is by voting and be voted for. Voting and be voted for. That's why we have an opportunity right now. During the registration period, let Gambians go out there and register. Register to vote and take an informed decision to vote for people that you believe that can serve serve you. We all have seen the failures, the evidence are there. And people from the diaspora, that's why it's important, again, we fight for our rights to vote and rights for representation. Because of the burden in the country we share. It's our right and it's our responsibility. And no one can fight for your right until you fight for yours. And people will come and fight with you. It's our ownership to take to fight. Thank you very much, guys. And I hope the time taken will be put into good use here. I felt better now talking about this, talking about the school. And I think we should not only share the pictures, we should not only criticize the council or the people, what happened there. We should not only show outrage, but we should offer solutions. I I make myself available. If anyone from Kaur want to contact me and to strategize on how to take this up, I am available. I cannot jump on. I don't even know anyone in Kaur personally I can reach out to. I don't know anyone in the diaspora from Kaur I can reach out to. If I knew, I would have reached out to them to take leadership onto this. And I'm ready to support them to take leadership on this. We can do it. If you go and I'm appealing Gambians to go and visit the Bakau School project and see the achievement in the Bakau School project. But it was a challenge, and the people of Bakau came together to take ownership, but the people of the Gambia rebuilt that school. It would not have happened. The school would have been the same, and students would have suffered. But today we have created a conducive environment for students to reach their potential. We have complemented or even complemented government efforts. We rebuilt the school. We created an opportunity for children to even have an early learning experience by creating a nursery school within the primary school, which is probably a hybrid, probably a first. It's another example that other schools can learn from. Secondary school can do the same thing. There are a lot of children within the urban areas or rural areas cannot afford to have to go to nursery school because it's not free. Then within the primary school, we can organize ourselves as communities to create really nursery schools within those for people who cannot afford to go to school. Thank you very much, guys, and have a good day. Thank you.